Thank you very much, Senator Baldwin. And Secretary McDonald, so good to see you here and accompanied by Dr. Shulkin and Mr. Pummel. And thank you, all of you, for your service to the country and to our veterans. There couldn't be a more important task that we undertake. And I fully respect the fact that you took this assignment, Mr. Secretary, at a difficult time during great publicity around a serious scandal. And I think working with Congress and additional resources, I think you've made some good progress, including yesterday's announcement that the VA is now able to fund all veterans with fund care for all veterans with hepatitis C. And that's a very, very welcome development there. We're going to have to keep that up to regain and maintain the trust of Americans' veterans, and I know that you all are committed to that. I was pleased to meet with you 2 weeks ago and talk about some of the issues with VA care in New Mexico, and I'm also glad to see that the VA's budget justification specifically supports research into exposure to airborne particulate matter from burn pits. I look forward to an update on this research as it moves forward, and how we can ensure veterans get the treatment they need for such exposure. The hearing today is important to discuss ways to improve the department and its services for veterans. The subcommittee, as you know, funds your agency, and we ensure that this essential care is ready to support more veterans, and in particular the new veterans that are coming home from Afghanistan and Iraq. We need to make sure that there's a seamless transition there. Now, my first question, as you know, access is essential and can be particularly difficult in rural areas like New Mexico, partially due to problems with retaining practitioners. How does this budget aim to recruit talented medical staff at VA facilities, and what could be done, in your opinion, to either incentivize or streamline the process to hire new doctors and nurses?
Senator Udall, as you and I have talked before, having the providers in place is hugely important. I've been to over 24 medical schools myself recruiting, and we've hired over 1,400 doctors since I have been secretary. Nevertheless, I think we have a shortage of medical schools in this country, and one of the things I think also VA has a shortage of osteopathic doctors, which is a lost opportunity. So I'd like David to talk about it. We're increasing, ramping up our recruiting of osteopathic doctors and all kinds of doctors nationally in order to recruit them and get them to particularly operate in rural areas. We know that osteopathic doctors are more willing to live in rural areas. They're also more primary care than specialty, which is exactly what we need.
Dr. Shulkin, please proceed.
Yes, thank you. I think the Secretary is right. We're looking to explore all avenues. The osteopathic physicians are certainly one avenue that we're really working hard at, making those relationships. We have added new residency affiliations with osteopathic medical schools, and we're looking to enhance those relationships. We now have about 300 osteopathic trainees in the VA healthcare system, and we're looking to expand that. In addition, because of your support through the VACA legislation, we have been able to expand residencies, desperately needed for American medicine. And when they have a great experience in VA, they tend to want to stay in the VA healthcare system. So we're working at that. We're using educational debt reduction programs to help young physicians come in and stay in the VA, and that's an incentive. And we are looking at our compensation pay tables to make sure that we're adjusting the pay, particularly for physicians that we have a very difficult time recruiting into rural areas. But any help that you can provide us, any ideas that you have that we're not exploring, we're particularly with primary care and mental health in rural areas, we really could use additional help.
Yeah, I was very excited to hear that you all are working with medical schools and standing up medical schools and additional residencies, which really make a difference. And as I've told you, we have a new osteopathic school that's about ready to get going in southern New Mexico that we hope you'll work with. I want to shift over here to the IG because you have asked, and Senator Tester has said, and others on the committee have said how important the IG is, and I would echo what the others have said. We have got to approve your IG, and nothing is more it pushes that idea more than the fact that what happened in that as you were coming in. It was I worked in New Mexico. I had many people approaching me and saying there's problems going on, there's scheduling problems, there's this, there's that. We didn't have the expertise to deal with it, but we were able to take the information, work with the complainants, get them into the IG, and then have the IG work with them and do a report to you. So I think we need to find a way to, in addition to because I'd call on everybody, remove those holes and put the IG in place for the Veterans Administration. How do we strengthen employees' trust in the VA OIG operation?
One of the things we've done is through our Leaders Developing Leaders program, which I discussed earlier, we've taken our top 450 leaders off-site. We've done 3 days of training. Part of that training is in values, and importantly in the values of the IG and the role the IG plays. We've also tried to partner with the IG, so we're working together. So we're helping the IG identify trouble spots, because during the time of change, like we're having with the transformation, the MyVA transformation, that can create challenges for us. And so we want the IG to be vigilant on where those challenges are. But just for an example, we've had over 110 investigations just on scheduling alone. Of those 110 plus, only 77 have been completed. And of those 77, we've had roughly 10 sites that have been discovered problematic and 28 individuals that we've had disciplinary action against. So it shows you the enormity of what we're talking about, and also the fact that we're not done yet. We still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Secretary McDonald, just one more brief
Yes, sir.
question. I understand that you recently signed off on a medical investigator report pertaining to the Albuquerque VA Medical Center. Can you provide the details of the 3 recommendations contained in the report, and when will you be able to share that report with me and release it publicly?
I think David has the report, Senator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is concerning allegations with the appropriate use of using psychological testing, particularly for traumatic brain injuries. And we have seen the initial draft report. We will be able to get to you a specific date in which it will be able to be released to you and make sure that we do that. In fact, I think we may be able to get you a redacted report even sooner than its official release date. We'll be glad to do that. I will tell you that when I've reviewed the report, I am comfortable with the findings in terms of what was substantiated and what was not substantiated, so that we do not feel at VA that we need to take a immediate action right now for patient safety, else we would be taking that action.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Shulkin, very much, and I'll submit my additional questions for the record because my time's expired. One's on 3D printing and the other's on comp and pen, which I think you all have discussed very thoroughly here. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.